Mr. Kumar, Mr. Prasad, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. First of all, my very sincere apology for being late. Some days are good and some days are bad in the government. Today happens to be a pretty complicated bad day, and we have not been able to juggle all of the appointments. In addition, Delhi traffic doesn't help. So my very sincere apology. I was supposed to be here at 4. At 5, I need to be with Kamal Nath, and it's just a madhouse. I feel like a robot. You wind me up, I show up there, do something, I don't even know what that is, and then move on to another task. It is indeed a special pleasure and privilege to be with you. I want to compliment organizers for this gathering, and I want to thank you for giving me this opportunity. India Smart Grid Day is an important event for all of us, especially for me, because I have been looking at smart grid challenges for the last 3-4 years, and at times I feel frustrated that not enough is happening. We set up this smart grid task force at the government level. Then we set up smart grid forum, and we have had series of meetings and discussions and debates and all that. But unfortunately, there is very little to show on the ground. We do realize that our smart grid needs are very different from the needs of the advanced countries. When we had our first set of discussions, I kept emphasizing the fact that we would like smart grid to really focus on Indian challenges, which relate to leakages, consolidation of microgrids, low-cost solutions, and indigenous development. Based on these discussions, we laid out a plan for developing our own smart meter. We have a spec. I believe some work is going on, but in the process, I personally believe we have lost a year and a half. Later on, the forum was set up with great deal of enthusiasm from industry. I met with the executives of the forum a couple of times, and then collectively we decided that we will have some trials. We worked out a plan for about 8 trials. Unfortunately, not much has happened on trials as well. I do plan to meet with the minister, the new minister, to talk about this and basically emphasize the fact that we have not been able to successfully drive smart grid agenda. I wish we could get a little more clarity on our ability to develop this product here in the country to meet our own needs, and at the same time, in parallel, get on with these 8 trials. Because these trials will tell us a lot more about how we could in India use smart grid technology going forward. We all recognize that energy is going to be the biggest challenge for the next decade. If we don't have power, we will not be able to grow at 8 to 10% that we plan to grow. Along with the skill shortages, power shortages are going to be the key challenge. We have known this for a while. We have had all kinds of plans, but I don't know whether we have been able to keep pace with the power needs of the country. I hope that in the next few months we get little better clarity. There is huge amount of talent in the country. I've met some of the experts. They know what needs to be done. I've just written a letter to the Deputy Chairman of the Planning Commission on smart grid, asking for more funding for the pilots and all. In fact, just before we came here in the car, I was talking to him. And I hope we can get the support that we need to launch these 8 trials. So if in the next 3 months, if I can get your support, support of the industry, support of the experts, in putting 2 things on track. 1, the meter design, and 2, 8 trials, I would appreciate. Let's meet up in next couple of weeks. I'll ask my office to coordinate this meeting and really give another push. I'm also to be blamed because I'm swamped with 50 other things and haven't really devoted the time I should have devoted to smart grid. I promise you I'll correct that. But let's meet up in next 2 weeks with the forum as well as with the task force to see if we get a little more clarity. I'm sure if we have clarity, we'll find the funding required to move this agenda forward. I'm sure government will find money somewhere if there is a good reason and if we are all committed to it. I'm not worried too much about funding. I think I'm worried more about our own internal bureaucracy and the systems to be able to respond to these things. I don't take too much of your time. I want to thank you for giving me this opportunity. I want to assure you that as part of the Smart Grid Task Force, it is my responsibility and I'll carry it forward to provide little more clarity, to find the funding we need, if not for 8 trials, for 6 trials, get the trials going and really see how India can benefit from smart grid initiative. This is an important initiative of the government, but for some reason there hasn't been a sense of urgency that we need. I hope we can bring that back on track. So in 2 weeks, let's meet. I will meet with the minister. I will talk to the Planning Commission. And together, let's put it back on track. That's all I can tell you. Once again, thank you. And I wish you lots of luck at this conference. And I hope you get a chance to interact. And maybe you will have better clarity than I have at the end of the conference. Thank you.
Yes.